This week, MSNBC announced that they will be canceling the Reid Report and Ronan Farrow Daily. Here is the scoop. Here's the skinny. Here's the tea from yours truly. So they are going to cancel the Ronan Farrow show. They will cancel Joy Reid, the Reid Report show. And they will fill it with Thomas Roberts, who's the host of Way Too Early, will now anchor from 1 to 3, which Phil Griffin, the president, says is a major shakeup in the network, following low ratings to make sure that, you know, they can give you more straight news. So I say to self, more straight news. Straight news is how you boost the ratings. No. For once in their lifetime, MSNBC made the right decision a year ago by bringing diversity to their daily lineup. Now they had 2 black women in the daily lineup of shows. You have, you know, Tamron Hall and Joy Reid. They brought youth. Not saying that Ronan Farrow is the most interesting person in the world, but, you know, they brought youth to the lineup. So they had youth, they had diversity. It was great. They were doing bad in the ratings. Now, how you improve ratings is not by making drastic changes. How you improve ratings is by doubling down. And this is one of those things I believe in. I mean, you look at all the other networks, and I'm no TV critic or TV commentator, but, you know, well, I guess I am a TV commentator. I'm not really a critic, though. I'm a commentator, but I'm not like a pontifier of the media. But in my mind, I would think we have 2 really good shows. We have 2 really dynamic hosts, one more dynamic than the other, right? Why don't we build advertising around these individuals? Why don't we put a budget around them and give them really dynamic shows? Joy is awesome. Why not put Joy out in the field? Right? After the Ferguson crisis, let's send Joy to Ferguson and have her sit out there and talk to the people, because she gets it. Hell, after what's happening, anywhere. After the Charlie Hebdo, why not send Joy to France and have Joy engage? This is what makes her so great, is her versatility, her talent. She's awesome. Now they're moving her to a cop-out role, MSNBC's national correspondent. What do they do exactly? You're a national correspondent. In exchange for 2 hours of, I like Thomas Roberts, but 2 hours of a Caucasian man reading the news. So instead of giving us dynamic programming for 2 hours, we're going to give you 2 hours of a Caucasian man reading the news. Different, diversity, bright, fresh, new. 2 hours of like the perfect newsman look guy reading you the news. America, Poor Decision by MSNBC. Now I know people like, Richard, why are you criticizing MSNBC? And people at MSNBC are like, Richard, you're awful. But let's just be real here. Let's be really real. And say, if you're going to commit to being diverse and you're going to bolster having the most diverse audience in cable news, act like it and say, you know what? We are so diverse and we believe so much in our diversity that we're going to double down on it. You don't see CNN throwing out Wolf Blitzer, even though he's the most boring thing in the world and I'd rather watch a cow die slowly. They gave him an extra hour of television. So now there's 4 hours of Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. They've doubled down. Even though the ratings suck, they've managed to double down. Right? Like I mean, in my mind, I just don't really understand why you would give up diversity in exchange for somebody doing a news read. Because you want to be more newsy. That's by far the most baffling thing I've heard this whole week. I'm sorry. I will call a spade always. I would. And I love MSNBC. I love Chris Matthews. I think he's awesome. Right? Even though Joe Scarborough can be a pain in the ass, I sort of like him. I really like Tamron Hall. But getting rid of the new splash, the idea you're going to have an African-American woman leading a show and carrying a show, and the idea that you're going to have a millennial carrying a show, and exchanging both of those for a tall white guy reading the news is just dumb and baffling and stupid.